Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Are you enjoying yourself so far? It's great to hear. I am James Browning-Keppel, current judge of the New York City High School-wide poetry competition. There is another judge as well, Stephen Motika, who's sitting right here. Program director for the Poets House. If you haven't had a chance to check out the Poets House, take a look at www.poetshouse.org. It's an amazing facility, a library housing one of the most extensive collections of American poetry in the world. If you haven't been down, you must check it out. This is, like Stephen said earlier, the 107th year of the New York Browning Society. Which is funny because we actually invited 107 high schools to participate in this year's competition. So 107 and 107, we're doing pretty well. This is, I think, over 30 years we've been doing this contest here in the New York City area, and we've been highlighting the best of the best when it comes to the poetic talent that New York City has to offer. And this year's competition was amazing. We had a lot of participants, and it was very hard for us to pick the winners, but we're very happy that all of them are here. If we could just give a round of applause for all the kids that made it out. I'm tickled pink to just even be a part of the Browning Society. What we're doing is we're really bridging the gap between over 4 generations of people, bringing Robert Browning and Elizabeth Barrett Browning's poetry to high school students, to people that enjoy poetry. And if you haven't had a chance to come to one of our monthly meetings, the monthly meetings go from September to May. The second week here at the National Arts Club on Wednesday. We have a lot of exciting presentations, and you'd be very surprised at how ensconced Browning really is into our modern day life. I can turn on the television and find Browning references all the time. And I don't even own a television, so that says something. What we've done is we've expanded the competition to such a size that we feel like we're finally getting to the point where the original mandate of the Browning Society Poetry competition wanted to be, where we actually integrate ourselves into the high schools here in New York City. What we've done to expand that as well is that we've also added ourselves to be a part of the New York City Poetry Festival, which is in July 26th and 27th. And we will have a table, and we will also have all of the winners here today performing on Sunday at 11:20 a.m. at the Chumley stage. They're winning poems as well. So we'll have a presence there. Our guest speaker, Paul Muldoon, will also actually be the featured poet at the New York City Poetry Festival. So it brings it all together. All of the winners today have been published, their winning poems have been published at www.writethis.com. That's writethis.com. So you can check later after the evening to see the winning poems in their actual text to enjoy what these students have done. We've also happy to announce that all of the winners will be receiving a check for $100 for their winning poems. They will also receive a book of Browning's poems, and they will also receive a book of my new book, Thus Virginia Passes, via Pretend Genius Press, which is www.pretendgenius.com. I'm happy, to be honest with you, I'm just very happy to be here. I enjoy this situation. I love the National Arts Club. I love all the people that have participated. And how about we get on to the winning poems? Does that sound okay with you?
What's that? Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff to give out. I like it. Okay, so Do we have, can you hand me the program, Stephen Motif, so we can go with the order? Beautiful. All right, so our first winning poet was a little late. He had to finish his AP exam for, gosh knows what these people do these days for exams. But he made it in time, and we would like to invite him on stage to read his winning poem. That's Conor Jones from the Collegiate School. Winning certificate for Mr. Conor Jones. An edition of Robert and Elizabeth Barrett Browning's poetry. And thus Virginia passes. Let's give a round of applause for Conor Jones, ladies and gentlemen. Yes.
Okay. There are a lot of you here, aren't you? Originally, the poem was Untitled, but my English teacher insisted I write a title, and I do not remember what that title is. So I'm going to, on the spot, name this poem the poem that once had a title. O flame who sparked the ember of our hearts, from nothing forged the kindling, keeping it lit, I beg, beseech thee, for a second start. I know nothing, not even that, and it burns harsh to think how barren minds become when lost just leagues before God-gifted wit. Please penetrate my sullen mind, my dumb, insatiable quest for knowledge I trust true, so I can scribe divine to save sin succumbed. That heart that burned from you now burns for you, so please receive these prayers to ease the scars. Reversal of fortune, please, I'm overdue. A message blessed by you passed through the stars.
The checks are on the way. How we're going to run this is that Stephen Motika has actually written a little bit of criticism or commentary on each poem, and so without further ado, we'd like to invite Stephen Motika up to the microphone.
I just want to congratulate all the winners. This was an amazing group of poems that we had to select from. And I want to thank James for expanding the Browning Poetry Prize to really all these schools. We can amazing array. This is a citation, and I'll remind Conor of his original title, or the title that was in response to his teacher's request, Spirit in Dead. Conor Jones deftly harkens back to a heightened 19th century rhetoric in his 13-line poem, Seeking Salvation and Guidance. Employing a rhyme scheme underscoring a rhythmic sequence of tercets, the poem ends on a heavenly reflection, a quatrain to draw in the divine, an insatiable young scribe indeed.
So next up, we actually have a poet from the Browning School, not to say that we pick favorites. His name is Jacob King. Let's give a warm round of applause for Jacob King. Jacob King, winning certificate. There you are. And without further ado, let's hear his poem.
Yep.
Prefaces before I begin my poem. One, I did not know we were going to be critiqued. And secondly, this is a poem about anger management. We've all been there. And I have sort of appropriately titled it Red. Red. Red encroaching on consciousness. Raw rage perverting crystalline clarity. That which cannot be touched is most apparent, yet reason reminds me it cannot be. Enough. Apathy allows the meek to pacify all affect which Adam's apple allowed, but not I. Damn that abject combat, that errant struggle that silent solicitors smile at as resistance recedes and pernicious fury takes hold. Find a center, said father, yet fickle fate finds fault with the fables our parents spoon-fed us of trains making passage through tunnels that have thus far been closed. But not my mind. The wood wedge is in place and all its contents rush to the light. Red, like the Nile in Carnadine. Red, like Pickett's charge. Red, like the fire within me that so desperately wants to burn as recompense for indiscretion. Red, I resolve. Surely someone sees the sincerity of suppression. We were taught this. Silence seeps into some secret crevice that disseminates its song through my skull. Silence finds its way to my center. All is whole, yet at the back of my mind still red.
Thank you, Jacob. And I'll remind everyone that these are citations of praise, not criticism. We're celebrating the winners. A riveting ride through the rush of red is experienced by the senses and the mind. A riot of images from Nile Incarnadine to the interior fire. Jacob King's poem explores the highs and lows of anger and emotion and the desire to quench it. This poem rushes to the light with intensity and precision. Congratulations.
All right, so our next winner comes all the way from the High School of American Studies in Bronx, New York. Let's give a warm round of applause for Anna Soong, ladies and gentlemen. Certificate, books, checks on the way.
First, I'd like to give thanks for this wonderful opportunity. I'm so surprised and very grateful. And I'd like to say congratulations to all the other winners. You have very great talent. Metamorphosis. There's a small white room. It's windowless, lacking a door, just a hollow box. I sit against a wall. It's nothing more than cardboard, covered in drywall and slathered in cheap white paint. My only company is a mirror. Its reflection contains a girl. She smiles prettily and braids her hair, day in and day out. When I put my hand to the chalky surface of the wall, I feel a slight humming. It is alive, whatever is behind that wall. I put my ear upon it and hear sounds: running water, the laugh of a child, the whistling of a breeze through budding leaves. When I push upon the thin walls, they give way at the corners. I can see through the cracks. There's a blue sky, streaked liberally with gold. If I just could push hard enough, if I could knock down these walls, I would taste sweet freedom. Don't do that. I turn around. It's her, the girl in the mirror. She smiles. You're safe here. I pull back. The walls seal closed, blocking the sky from my view. There's nothing but hardship beyond those walls. You'll get hurt out there. I slump against the wall once again. Defeat. I sit there as I have for the past hour, day, year, lifetime. The girl smirks at me, a small huddled mass on the floor. Look at you, weak and insignificant. You wouldn't last a day out there. I stare at the girl, her rope-like braids swinging around her hips. She has not felt the gentle buzzing of the world, alive behind the wall. She has not heard the burbling of a newborn child, or the joyous calls of the birds weaving their way through the tree branches to be one with the infinite sky. These sounds beckon me, fill me with a strength unknown to me. I stand up, taller than I've ever been, and I push, the thick, corded muscle beneath my skin aiding me. The walls crack and crumble. The cheap paint and plaster, once containing me, fall to pieces at my feet. No, the girl is screaming, clawing at her perfect hair. Stop. The small white room begins to rumble and quake. The walls begin to buckle. The mirror falls and shatters into a million shards. The girl is reflected in them, her braids coming undone. You can't, you won't. But just watch me. Watch me crash through these walls, once formidable, impregnable, indestructible. Watch me break these chains, self-forged with all my fears and tears. Watch me emerge from the smoking rubble and stand above it all as I spread my carefully woven wings. Metamorphosis.
Congratulations to Anna Soong, whose powerful narrative poem captures a young girl breaking free from the confines of a small white room and a doppelganger's warnings at the outside to discover freedom in the world beyond. This young poet deftly controls the details of the situation and in using the Browning's models, utilizes dynamic image and dramatic dialogue to capture this exciting transformation.